I mean, there's two teams in the park, and it's abundantly obvious that one team has been, it's been coached to death. Tottenham. You can tell. He has coached that high line, playing out from the back, full backs, everything. And the other is just, as Ali said, is a ball over the top, on the counter. You know, for Marcus Rashford pace, who's looking, I have to say, is looking a lot better, but it was a very low bar. And so it's difficult going forward unless, I was following one of the journalists today in England and said, how does Ten Hag go into a room and say, I need this, I need this, I need this, and I need that, and how does he sell it? And the simple answer is the only way he can sell it is by playing better. And they haven't shown anything this season that suggests they're going to play better.
Just going to the Spurs point, though, because obviously we're saying they were the better side today, Don, and you can see where they are in the table right now. Craig mentioned that list, especially when you did see it side by side. It was like double the amount of players missing. What of them today for you?
Best two players on the pitch was Bentancur and Højbjerg in the middle of the park. I think they dominated. I thought Bentancur showed his quality, but you know, when you looked at the work that Højbjerg done, he covered every blade. He was all over the place. Timo Werner was quite lively on the left-hand side. Brennan Johnson didn't really have the greatest of game. His final ball was missing, but Richarlison's in form. He's got, I think, 6 and 6, and his confidence is coming back, and he's leading the line. As we said before, you know, you look at Tottenham now with Arsenal breathing down the necks behind them. Tottenham are fighting for top 4. There's a good chance they might make it. There's some big horses trying to get there. 5 teams, I think, fighting for the top 4. But as the boys said before, I mentioned Pape Sarr, I mentioned Basuma, I mentioned Kulusevski, I mentioned Maddison, I mentioned Son. All these players weren't missing today. You know, these are like really important players. Now, Man United can say, well, hang on, we're missing players as well. But the majority of your players are defensive players or midfield players, not really game changers, where that is not Tottenham's strongest 11 by any stretch. So for them to go away and play the way they did and control the game at Old Trafford, I thought was really impressive. The only slight negative, and this is not a criticism, it's just an observation on how I saw the game unfolding, was when Tottenham were behind, they obviously went behind 1-0. They were magnificent to get it back to 1-1. Then I was thinking, right, Man United are there to be beat. Go and attack them. And they really slowed the play down, Tottenham, whether it was a measured thing or whether it was just a control thing away from home. I was really expecting them to go at Man United and go and get the next goal in the game. And then the dynamic of the game was Man United took the lead 2-1. Tottenham were brilliant to get it back to 2-2. And then Tottenham sort of sat off again and went, okay, we'll just control the game again. Man United were there to be beat. So I think that's where Ange Postecoglou will come away from the game secretly and probably think, if only we had that belief, if only we could have done a little bit more and been a little bit braver, they could have won the game today.
Højbjerg and Skip don't get in the side, do they? I mean, I get what Don's saying with Højbjerg, but sometimes his passing leaves a lot to be desired. You know, and we've even seen it again.
Good today, though.
Sometimes. Other times I don't know. I didn't. Some of his passing today was a little sloppy, but I think Van de Ven and Romero are huge for them. Getting Van de Ven back with his pace in particular. Man, he looked like the Tin Man at the end, didn't he? You know, cramp, couldn't move. He's been out for so long.
Well, at least you've got centre-backs in the centre-back position.
But I think when he went down on the edge of the box, Ange Postecoglou his heart must have been in his mouth thinking, there's a hamstring gone again, because he had a bad one, but you could see him mouthing it was cramp. Those two are huge, and that allows the full-backs to go back in the full-back position rather than playing the full-backs as he was, Ben Davies, Emerson Royale, as centre-halves. One of the downsides I saw in the first half was Pedro Porro's great, but his positioning when they lose the ball allowed Marcus Rashford and United to scoop that ball in behind where Pedro Porro was attacking, because they play such an attacking game. And that's something that I think teams will look to exploit. When those full-backs push on, they win it back quickly, they'll scoop that ball in behind.
All right, so that's how it stands between those two sides, 2-2. Did you guys mention, because obviously I didn't have sound for a bit, about what Højlund said?
Oh, sorry, I thought we were going to mention Don.
Oh, no. You mean Rasmus Højlund, who said, yeah, we are disappointed because I think we were the better team.
Because United were the better team.
Yeah, well, Rasmus, what can I tell you? You've been talking to Ten Hag way too much. You've been hanging out with Ten Hag way too much. I understand. So I suppose if you just look at the fact that McTominay has a late chance, a late opportunity to win it, but that really, I think, is ignoring the whole balance of the game, because over the balance of the game, if you're Manchester United, you're fortunate to get a point out of this match.
Right. We can't go on the show any longer. You know what I'm going to say? I'm not an eyebrow specialist. But something's awry here. Not me. No, possibly.
No, yours are okay.
Don, what's going on?
Go on.
Your eyebrows look very light tonight.
Something's happened. Have you put
Light. I've got bright light. I mean, I have been on holiday. I've had a little weekend.
Have you put your face in a frying pan? Something's happened. It's like your eyebrows have...
Do you know the last day of the holiday? It was boiling hot and I put no sunscreen on whatsoever.
There we go.
I knew there was something.
Schoolboy error.
I thought maybe the missus had shaved them off when he fell in the sun.
Don't worry, nobody can see it.
That's right.
Hey, you had me back there for a second though, Craig. I must admit, you had me.
Hey, I tell you what.
Right under the bus.
Maybe put sunscreen on the eyebrows.
Because just on your body.
Well, that's what it looks like.